The holidays in Detroit have ended, and the dog days of bone-chilling winter have officially begun. Welcome to the waiting game for spring as we freeze our nuts off, Motor City. One thing that's been heating up in recent weeks, however, is the Lions GM and head coaching search. And the Kitty Cats just solved one half of the equation by hiring Los Angeles Rams Director of College Scouting Brad Holmes as their new General Manager. Who in the Sam hell is Brad Holmes? And can he clean up the scum left behind by Boob Quinn? We'll discuss. Also, we have the inside track on who will become the next head coach of your Detroit Lions. Babble Big Ten basketball as the Michigan Wolverines are one of the hottest teams in the country. Recap this weekend's slate of Divisional Round NFL playoff action and much, much more right now on DSE. Recorded from the DSE studios in downtown Detroit, this is Detroit Sports Extreme. Here now is your new voice for Detroit Sports, Johnny Bakerstone. Happy hiring, Motown, and welcome to another edition of DSE. We thank all of you, the listeners, as we have just been selected number 14 on the FeedSpot Top 30 Action Sports Podcasts you must follow in 2021. A fresh new year is upon us, and with it brings hope. Gone from Ford Field is the sweltering stench of Quintricia, and in comes new, young blood. Unless you've been out of the country the past couple of days being held captive in Guantanamo Bay, you have probably heard the Lions have themselves a new general manager in 41-year-old Brad Holmes. The hire is bold, albeit risky, but maybe, just maybe, the Leos hit the Greek Town Casino jackpot. Or maybe they just doubled down and went bust by hiring Boob Quinn 2.0. We have a jam-packed show, so let's first examine the newest cat to call 2000 Brush Street home, a feline who gets the dubious honor of trying to add to the Lions' one playoff victory in the past 63 years. Detroit Lions GM and Head Coaching Search 2021. There is a new sheriff in Motown, and his name is Deputy Brad Holmes. Welcome to Detroit, Brad, but I sure hope you know what the hell you're getting yourself into. God have mercy on your soul. The Lions interviewed 12 candidates in all, including Colts assistant GM Ed Dodds, who would have been a home run hire, and Saints VP and assistant general manager of player personnel Terry Fontenot. But Holmes was the only man to be graced with the dubious honor of a second interview from a franchise that's won all of one playoff game since 1991. Flying under the radar, Holmes comes out of absolutely nowhere, as 2 weeks ago nobody was talking about him. But he's absolutely killed it in the interview process, and was also a finalist for the Falcons' GM vacancy. Perhaps he smoothed things over by bribing Sheila Ford Hamp and Rod Wood with a bottle of Los Angeles' finest. Like many of his predecessors, Matt Millen, Martin Mayhew, and Boob Quinn, Holmes has never had a GM gig. In fact, he doesn't even have assistant GM experience. He also has never manned the day-to-day operations at the team facility, as he regularly worked out of his home office in Atlanta during his time with the Rams. For a team that claimed to be looking for a man with experience and a proven track record, the Kitty Cats sure did not scratch off many of those boxes. I realize some of you think the lack of experience is a big deal, and surely I can't blame you after how pathetically Millen, Mayhew, and Boob all flamed out, but personally I do not think it's a deal breaker. Sure, it makes the hire more of a risky one, but Holmes is highly respected and well-liked in NFL circles, and is known as an excellent talent evaluator, especially at the college level. The 41-year-old began his career as a public relations intern with the Los Angeles Rams way back when in 2003, before climbing up the ladder all the way to Director of College Scouting, a position he has held for the past 8 years. And yours truly is the Director of Beer Scouting here at DSE, and I'm one of the best. I know what some of you are thinking. Holmes' role with the Rams was very similar to that of Boob Quinn's with the Patriots. But guys, there's a big difference between Director of Pro Scouting, the position Boob held in New England, and Director of College Scouting. Holmes is known as an excellent college football talent evaluator, something Quinn was not. And we all know the fastest path to success in the NFL is through the draft. The Lions have been wetting their pants in NFL drafts since I was in diapers, and are hoping Holmes can finally end decades of draft day futility. Need I remind you, the Lions once took Bryant Westbrook over Randy Moss in the 1998 NFL Draft.
Go!
That pick still keeps me up at night with a bottle of bourbon in my hand. With the Leos needing help at nearly every position, it is crucial to get starting caliber talent in the draft, something Holmes proved he could do while with the Rams, as he is largely credited with the huge success they have had in the draft in recent years. The selection of Aaron Donald with the 13th overall pick in the 2014 draft highlights a slew of shrewd moves. Get this, the Lambs have drafted 13 starters the last 4 seasons, including 3 that were late first-round picks. Let's not forget, they did that with no first-round picks thanks to the 2016 trade to move up to take Jared Goff.
Johnny, it's Goff.
Oh yeah, sorry, Goff. Los Angeles has the 3rd youngest team in all of football and is deep at nearly every position. I'm not sitting here and acting like Holmes is the only reason why, but he's a big reason why. And boy, wouldn't you love to see anything close to that here in Detroit? I have my hand down my pants right now just thinking about it. In the end, yes, I was hoping for Kevin Colbert of the Steelers, John Schneider of the Seahawks, or the aforementioned Ed Dodds of the Colts, but after those 3, it's kind of a crapshoot, guys, and I'm not going to knock the hire. Like Troy Weaver of the Pistons, let's let this play out. And if Holmes signs Jesse James to a 4-year, $22 million contract extension, then we can crucify him. The Lions have several key free agents to address this offseason, headlined by wide receivers Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones, defensive end Everson Griffin, and kicker Matt Prater. Shit, we better bring back at least Golladay and Prater, or I'll lose my fucking mind. In addition to all of that, the $1 million Motor City question still looms large. Will Holmes choose to keep Matthew Stafford around, or will he trade him? My guess is, as a first-time GM that has an above-average QB on his roster, Holmes will probably decide to keep Stafford around for at least the first year on his job. But stranger things have certainly happened. We will know very early on if this is a good hire. Holmes will be, and has to be, heavily scrutinized in the draft. It's the biggest reason why he was brought here. He needs to draft well, and that starts with this April's NFL Draft. We will begin to discuss risers and fallers in the draft and conduct mock drafts. Coming soon here on DSE. We now have a breaking news story for you from senior DSE correspondent Herb Gentry, who is coming at you from Allen Park, Michigan. Herbie, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Johnny. My sources tell me the Lions are expected to hire New Orleans assistant coach Dan Campbell as the team's next head coach. Darrell Bevell and Marvin Lewis were also in the running, but Campbell is priority number 1, and now that the Saints are officially eliminated from the postseason, the Lions can contact their man to begin negotiations. The two sides still need to work out a deal, but my sources tell me that will not be an issue. I'm also told 80-year-old Wayne Fonts was also a finalist for the job. Okay, that was a joke, but expect Dan Campbell to be named Detroit's 30th head coach in team history. From Allen Park, this is Herb Gentry, DSE. Back to you, Johnny.
Now that is what you call a Herbie bomb. Thanks, Herb. Herbie just celebrated his 70th birthday, and if he gets in just another 15 years of service here at DSE, he'll get that gold retirement watch he's been hoping for. Keep up the top-notch reporting, and you'll have it in no time. As for Campbell, the 44-year-old is known as a leader of men, a true rah-rah guy and a motivator, something Matt Patricia clearly was not. It is a complete 180 higher compared to the former, if it indeed happens. Now, he isn't known as an X's and O's expert, so he will need to surround himself with the right coaching staff, but if you wanted Robert Saleh, Campbell's coaching style is very similar. Although he has never been a coordinator in the NFL, Campbell did take over as head coach of the Miami Dolphins the final 12 games of the 2015 season and went 5-7. By all accounts, the Dolphins said they loved playing for him. He played 10 years in the NFL, including his final 3 here in Detroit, and identifies well with the players. I think the Lions were looking for a coach who can relate well with his team and fire them up on game day. But then again, I am very curious to see what coaching staff Campbell will surround himself with. Will Darrell Bevell come back as OC after not getting the head coaching gig? My guess is no, but it's very well worth monitoring. As we alluded to earlier on the show, the Lions said they wanted their next GM and head coach to have experience and a proven track record, but that clearly is not the case with Holmes and Campbell. Something obviously changed during the interview process, and that's fine, but it will be interesting to see if these two newcomers can change the smelly stench and losing culture here in Detroit. I don't need to remind you, the Lions have not won a division title since 1993, but I will anyway. Good luck, fellas. You're gonna need it. We will further discuss Campbell on next week's show, as well as the staff he assembles. Feel free to post your thoughts on Campbell on the Detroit Sports Extreme Facebook page. Switching now to basketball. Turning heads around the country is Juwan Howard's Michigan Wolverines, and despite Saturday's loss to Minnesota, Michigan is one of the hottest teams in the nation. Following last Tuesday's 77-54 ass-kicking of 9th-ranked Wisconsin, Michigan became the first team in college basketball history to win 3 straight games versus ranked opponents by 19 or more points. I realized pretty early on that Juwan Howard is a good recruiter, and the team is welcoming the #1 recruiting class to Ann Arbor this fall according to 247 Sports. But I still questioned his X's and O's even as recently as earlier this season. But he's put a lot of that talk to bed as the Wolverines have an overall record of 11-1 and are first in the Big Ten at 6-1. His recruit of Hunter Dickinson really stands out, as the freshman big man has averages of 16.8 points and 7.7 rebounds, shooting a whopping 71% from the field. He is as crafty as they come around the basket and has a nice shooting touch outside of it as well. He's been my favorite Wolverine to watch this season and only projects to get better as the season goes on. We'll see if Big Blue can keep it going this week with games against Maryland, Purdue, and Indiana. We are going to take a quick 60-second commercial break here on Detroit Sports Extreme. Do not go anywhere.
Hey, isn't that Frank Thomas?
Yeah, the big hurt.
More like the big cock.
Honey?
Frank Thomas?
Oh, hi there.
Wow. You look like you have a huge cock. I know, right?
Well, I'm feeling a lot stronger and leaner with a lot more energy and drive.
So, Frank, what's your secret?
Nugenix Total T.
Wish my husband had a huge cock.
He can. It's easy. Just send a text.
If you're a guy over 40, text COCK to 369-369 now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total C. From the brand that brought you GNC's #1 men's vitality product, new Nugenix Total C is our most powerful man-boosting cock formula ever, because it boosts your free testosterone and your total testosterone to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more energy and drive, but most importantly, it'll give you a huge cock. But don't take it from me, take it from the big cock himself.
Here, try a bottle. And trust me, she'll like it too.
Yes, she will, Frank. Yes, she will. Text COCK to 369-369 now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total C. That's COCK to 369-369. Welcome back to Detroit Sports Extreme. Here again is your new voice for Detroit Sports, Johnny Bakerstone. NFL Divisional Round Playoff Recap. Green Bay Packers 32, Los Angeles Rams 18. California surfer boy Jared Goof in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field? Huh, not a chance in high hell, although boats from the west side offered me $20 and took the Rams, getting the 7. I ate a slice of Swiss cheese and happily obliged. Despite the fact the Lambs entered the game with the best defense in the NFL in terms of points allowed, Aaron Rodgers torched their California Raisins for 296 yards and 2 touchdowns, continuing his fuck you tour in the NFL. The Pack traded up to take Jordan Love late in the first round of last year's NFL draft, and Rodgers has responded by leading the NFL in touchdown passes with 48 and quarterback rating at 84.3. He also ranked 5th in passing yards. A shoo-in for the league's MVP at age 37, it has truly been a remarkable ride for Discount Double Chump. Buffalo Bills 17, Baltimore Ravens 3. This game was a lot closer than the final score would indicate. Ravens kicker Justin Tucker, the most accurate kicker in the NFL, missed 2 field goals inside 50 yards in the same game for the first time in his career. Also, late in the third quarter, Lamar Jackson threw a 101-yard interception for a touchdown, the longest in NFL playoff history. In a game that featured torrential monsoon, Western New York winds, both teams struggled to move the ball. Josh Allen didn't exactly light up the stat sheet, but he did make the right plays at the right times, and his #1 receiver, Stephon Diggs, caught 8 passes for 106 yards and a touchdown. The Bills' offseason trade for Diggs, which was criticized at the time as many thought they gave up too much to acquire him, has worked wonders in Buffalo, and the two continue to build on their chemistry as one of the NFL's most feared tandems. The Bills advanced to their first AFC Championship game since 1994, as Bills Mafia is probably still pounding back the beers and jumping off cars. It's hard not to root for Buffalo. Kansas City Chiefs 22, Cleveland Browns 17. What could have been, Cleveland? What could have been? At one point, it looked like the Chiefs were gonna run away with this thing, but the Browns hung around and at the end had a chance to win the game. But boy, that Rashard Higgins fumble on the goal line late in the first half sure did not help their cause. The turning point occurred in the middle of the third quarter when Patrick Mahomes left the game because of a concussion, swinging the momentum in the favor of Cleveland. Replacing Mahomes was 35-year-old journeyman quarterback Chad Henne. Yes, the Michigan Chad Henne. I bet most of you didn't even know he still played in the NFL. The Browns capitalized with a Nick Chubb touchdown early in the fourth quarter, and even at the time, I said to Candy Copperfield and Herb Gentry, quote, "I'd rather be Cleveland than Kansas City right now," end quote. The Browns intercepted Henne on the next series and got the ball back, but ultimately had to punt the ball back to Kansas City, and that was a mistake of Lake Michigan size proportions, as they would not see the ball again. Somehow, Henne made two huge plays at the end of the game. With the Browns needing a stop to get the ball back with less than 2 minutes remaining, he scrambled for a 13-yard gain to get to close to midfield, setting up 4th and 1. Instead of punting the ball, offensive mastermind Andy Reid went for it on 4th and 1, and the Chiefs picked it up on a Henne rollout completion to Tyreek Hill. The play call from Reid took balls, and he proved why he is still the best offensive coach in the NFL. Had the Chiefs not got the first down, Baker Mayfield would have had the ball at midfield with a chance to win the game. But instead, the Browns failed on a chance to win 2 playoff games in the same season for the first time since 1950. The defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs advanced to their 3rd consecutive AFC Championship and will host the Bills in a matchup of 24-year-old Josh Allen versus 25-year-old Patrick Mahomes. That is assuming he's cleared of concussion.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30, New Orleans Saints 20.
Watching 43-year-old Tom Brady versus 42-year-old Drew Brees on Sunday made me realize one thing. One man, Tom Brady, still has it, while the other, Drew Brees, sadly does not. Tom improves to 14-2 in divisional round playoff action and continues his father-time cheating assault on opposing defenses. As for Drew Brees, he simply just does not have it anymore. Has a noodle for an arm and can't even pass the ball more than 20 yards down the field. But it's been one hell of a career, and he's as likable as they come as a person. And a career in broadcasting with NBC is his most likely outcome next season. Hats off to one hell of a career, Drew. While the AFC Championship features a duo of youngsters at quarterback, the NFC Championship is headlined by 43-year-old Tom and 37-year-old Aaron Rodgers, giving Fox a ratings erection for next Sunday's showdown at Lambeau. We will have a playoff preview of both the NFC and AFC Championship games on the next DSE.
Extreme Expressions.
As with every show, we take 3 calls from you, the listeners. Our first caller is the Ass Man.
Hey, Johnny. It's the Ass Man. Calling in after that awful fucking Browns game. They should have won that game. Browns should have had that game. Chad Henne comes into the game after Holmes goes down with I don't fucking know what he had. He probably had a hangnail. He comes down with that. Chad Henne comes in and leads in the victory. What the hell is that crap? I'm calling it right now. Next year, the Browns are going to the Super Bowl. 2022, 2021, whatever the hell the year is, the Browns are winning it all. They're going to destroy everyone, and you're going to be laughing in your freaking faces.
You gotta feel for Browns fans, because that franchise, historically, is very similar to the Lions. It sounds like the Ass Man did not take the loss to the Chiefs too kindly and was on about beer number 9 when he dialed in. Thanks, Ass Man. Next up is a regular here on DSE. It's Boats from the West Side.
Hey, Johnny. Boats from the West Side again. Hey, man, I like this Holmes signing, man. Great scout from L.A. Holy shit, look at the guys he drafted, man. Aaron Donald, all them. Oh my God, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he can do for Detroit, man. And hey, I hope we sign Dan Campbell as the coach. Holy shit, that guy is exactly what we need, man. We need a rah-rah guy, man. Woo! Just fire them guys up, man. Let's go. Woo!
Although I'm not as ecstatic about Holmes and Campbell as you are, Boats, for once we somewhat see eye to eye. Let's see how Holmes does in the draft this April, however, before penciling the Lions in next year's Super Bowl, okay, Boats? Our next caller is a new one here to DSE. It's Amy.
Hi, Johnny. This is Amy. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. Love your show. I just wanted to call in and talk about Matt Stafford and whether or not we should keep him next year. I have very mixed feelings on this. I like Stafford. He's a decent quarterback. Not the best in the league, but certainly not the worst. Best the Lions have ever had. If we were first or second, I would definitely say that we should draft a quarterback. But since we can't get Fields or Lawrence, I'm not really sure if we should keep Stafford or not. I really like Devontae Smith and think maybe we should just draft a wide receiver and kind of hope for the best with Stafford and maybe get a quarterback in a year or two. Those are my thoughts.
Our first female caller to call into the show. Thank you, Amy. And it sounds like you're one of the many fans on the fence about Matthew Stafford. Sooner or later, number 9 will be gone, but I'm starting to think, with a first-time GM just taking over, he will probably keep Stafford around for at least one more season. Special thanks goes to all of our callers, the Dejected Assman, Boats from the West Side, and Amy. If you'd like to call into the show, simply audio message us on the Detroit Sports Extreme Facebook page for a chance to be heard on next week's show. That will conclude this edition of DSE. As a reminder, you can find us on a number of different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Simply search for Detroit Sports Extreme. We will see you again in less than a week. Cheers, Detroit!